morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. At here, my vinyl video for our new series of training videos. I'm still suffering a bit from that cold, and you can hear it in my voice. It's still still not okay. But I really wanted to complete this series of training videos so that it is complete. I hope I can get through this video without too much of coughing. In advance already. Sorry for that, but what I said, I want to complete our new training videos and upload them to our website. The final video I wanted to make, which is one of the first videos in our will be one of the first videos in our series, is about setting up your Tradingview charts. This is a chart you are used to see from me, or something like this or this. Now I'm going to show you how you can come to this layout or any other layout you would prefer, and show you also some tips and tricks for the tools I'm using and making your life on Tradingview a lot easier. I am on the Tradingview desktop version. Whether you are on the desktop version or online, on the web version, it's all the same as far as I know. And let me start with a completely new chart, which is unchanged. And this is what you normally will see when you open Tradingview. I do have a lot of changes already here in, and we will go through all of them and show you what you can change. And after that, I will also show you some tools I am using and templates, how to use templates and how to use I don't even know the name for it, the object tree, which is also very handy. But let's first start with the layout. This is the white version. If you would prefer a dark version, which I always do, it's the dark color theme. You can click here on the left top side, then dark color theme, and you immediately switch to black version. Black, because for me that works prettier. It's better for your eyes and less chance of burning eyes after a full day of charting or staring charts. And now we can start working on this whole layout. And first of all, this is one of the most important buttons, the chart properties, the settings. We can go through and symbols, status lines, scales, appearance, trading events. We'll go through that. And first of all, I am using yellow candles because I am a little bit colorblind, and therefore yellow candles instead of green works prettier for me. Last price line, I have disabled that, because when I'm starting to chart I do have a lot of lines, and this one is distracting me, so I take that one out. Let me see what else is interesting here. Not that much. Bid and ask lines is not really important in crypto, in my opinion, more for forex. Yeah, that's about it here already. And of course, if you are on a white background, then you have to adjust your candles, and then you would go for white and black candles, for example. And yeah, you can change it here. Status line symbol is over here. The information you get here, you can make it only a ticker. Not really that important. This is the bar change values is over here. I must say I never look at it. I only look at these values over here: open, high, low, close. If you put your cursor on a candle, and then you can see on the left in the top the values, and that is very handy if you want to see if a certain candle made a new high or not. And for instance this one, then you look at the H for height, and then you see 69,000 is the value over here for that candle. The low was 62,822, and that's why I keep them open. But bar change values I never use. Show buy sell buttons I don't use. That's for if you have enabled trading in via Tradingview. I think there is barely any possibility for that in crypto. Indicated titles, well, it says here volume. I do have to indicate volume here, and then it says volume. Yeah, so be it. The values, so if you click here on a certain bar in the volume, then you can see the value over here. The background, this is not the one. I think this has to do with those indicators, because I'm not really sure where this is showing up. So yeah, not that important. Scales, you can put on the symbol last name. Not really important if you are looking at just one chart, but I also do have a chart with many on it, like this one. And then it is very handy to see the labeling, the symbol name label. What is else important here? Symbol last price. Well, that is here showing you the exact price and the countdown. Not important, not important in my opinion. Countdown to bar close, that's over here. Then you can see when a bar is going to close. Not that much important very for the rest here. Appearance, here you can change also the background. You can make it solid. If you have gradient, then you have, yeah, you can make it like that. This is very dark black and then turns into more like gray, but I prefer just a solid background, and let's make it black like this. Vertical grid lines and horizontal grid lines, I don't like them on my chart, so I make them also black, and this one black, and it's gone. You see? Session breaks, not important for crypto because crypto is open to 24/7. Crosshair, well, you can change your crosshair to white. You see the difference. Line, dotted line, dashed line. That's I think always handy to have. You can put in a watermark for the symbol. If you want to share your charts with others, you can opt to show immediately what kind of chart there is. Top margin, bottom margin, right margin. That is interesting because that is important how you open a chart and where your candles are. Nothing more irritating when you open your chart and it's like this. Top margin 10%, and if you watch here on the top, then you can see that it will change. If I make this 20, then you see that it will drop a little bit. Bottom margin, if you are using indicators like volume like this, then and not in a separate panel, then it's handy to have a bit of margin to the bottom. Right margin, I have 10% here. I always like or prefer to have some space open here. Sometimes people are always working like this, but I start with more or less like this, 10% or 10 bars. It leaves open 10 bars, but usually when I'm charting, then I move it more to the right to have more space to work on. But that's what you can change over here. Trading is not really important because I do not have an integration with any broker. And events is only interesting, for instance, when you trade Forex and want to know when certain numbers come out. I can show you when that is important. Let's say we go to the euro dollar. And now I want to see the economic events on the chart. It should come here. Or maybe I should click. Well, this is weird. Maybe on window. Yeah, well, okay, here, look. I was on the daily chart or even higher. Now you get alerts for events happening and then you can click it and then you can see what kind of financial news is coming out. So not important for crypto, so we skip it. There's another one interesting here. You can use templates. So you can, that goes for a lot of other stuff also in Tradingview. You can save this chart settings as a template. You can call it, let's say, black. And then with the black background and no grids, you can save it here. And if you want to switch to white, then you can click here and click on white. And you see, then you have it like that. And that is, I think, this is default in Tradingview. That is settings. When I now, first I will go through the right side, then I go to the top and then to the left side. What is more important here? This is a very interesting feature. The saving of a chart. You can save the image clicking here, and then you can save it in your on your own computer. But also copy chart image. If you push this one and open, for instance, a tweet, then do Ctrl V or paste, then you have immediately your chart in your tweet. Copy link to the chart if you want, of course, if you want to send someone a link of the chart. We do use it a lot in our Slack, as you know. And then we copy paste the link, and then in Slack it immediately opens the chart. Oh, I do see there is also a tweet chart image. Well, I don't use it, but I can imagine clicking here, it immediately opens a tweet. Publish. You can publish your ID on Tradingview. I stopped using Tradingview for that already a long time. But if you are interested to share with others, then click here and then you'll go to a menu where you can fill in your ideas about the chart, and if you want to publish it in public or private, and blah 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 blah. A lot of other stuff. On the right side, you can see a watch list. I do have a couple of watch lists, and you can make them yourself. Let's say my watch list is these coins, and you can add them here with the plus button. Let's say I want to add Doge BTC. And then you will see it will be added here on the bottom, and then I usually move it to where I want. But you can also click here on symbol, and then it will be ordered in alphabetical order. This is also interesting. You can make a copy of your watch list. You can rename it. You can import a list. This one is interesting. Over here, then you can import a list, for example, from somebody else, or you go to sandwich.finance and let's say I want to add all markets from perpetual futures from FTX. It's downloading, it's over here now, and now I go back to here, import a list, and going to downloads, and there is my list with all the perpetual futures from FTX. Sandwich.finance, Binance, FTX, KuCoin, Huobi, Bitfinex, Coinbase, Kraken, Poloniex. Just click on the market you want to download and then yeah, import it in your watch list as a watch list. So you can see I do have a bunch of watch lists. Upon that, you can also work with colored lists, and well, there is so many possible. What I usually do, and you guys know it from my webinars, I work with a orange list, and it's this list. When I want to use a certain list for my live streaming, I go to my normal list, and then I mark the coins which I want to use in my webinar. I mark them orange, and like this. And then when I want to start my webinar, I go to my orange list, and then I have the coins I selected for that webinar. So that you don't have to make every time a new watch list, but just color them, and works also fine. Anything else here? Well, of course, you can also export a list, send it to somebody else, or clear a list. Let's go to that last one I made, FTX Perpetual Futures. And there he goes. And now I do have an empty list. This one, I click here on the X, and then it's gone. It's now not anymore in my list of coins, watch lists I do have. The columns. Let's look here. I do have symbol, in this case the tickers, last price, and the change. I don't need more info here, but if you need more info, you can look like that. Where was it? Here. You can change the volume. Extended hours is not important for crypto, but then you do have a lot more info over here. But I like to have a small column here, so I do not have them all. If you want to have full size screen without this column, then you click here on the right side, the top, the watch list and the details, and then it's gone. Rest of the stuff here is more important for Tradingview. Go to the chat, or look what kind of alerts you have. We'll come back to the alerts later. But something else very interesting here is the object tree. Imagine you do have a bunch of stuff in your chart, like, very simple, you are using Elliott wave and horizontals. Yeah. And also want them to see them separate from each other, because it could be working like this, that it is mixing up. You can create maps here and put your trend line in that map. And I do have a second group for my Elliott wave countings. Both are now in. Now I could say I only want to see my group 1, let's say support and resistance. I do have a bunch of lines here. Well, like this. I can put them here in group 1, these lines. And now I only want to see my Elliott wave count. And this is just an example. Then I click here on the eye, and my lines are gone. They are back. Now I want to see only my support and resistance lines. I click on the group 2 Elliott wave counting, and it is gone. Yeah. You can even what you can also do is say that you want these kind of lines only in certain price time frames. We'll come back to that when we go to the left side, and then you can adjust which time frame, because I do have a lot of lines I don't want to see on the daily when they are low time frame drawings. That's the object tree here on the right side. When we go to the top of the chart, there is here is your ticker, and you can look here for a new chart. I want to see Bitcoin on Coinbase, and there it is again. This one is already filled in, but that is because I do have a lot of favorites. But normally it looks like this. You are here on the daily. And then if you click on it, you can say, I want some of the most used values. I want them to be highlighted. 3 days, weekly, and monthly. And then you will see, then they pop up over here, and then you can switch much faster than every time clicking the drop down menu. Do you want to work with candles or with bars, line charts? That is what you can change over here. Compare, I already showed you in this chart. You can make them to compare which coins are strongest, but you might know it from our group. We all Moonify is also using it, looking at certain branches. For instance, layer 1 coins or DeFi coins, major altcoins, and then you can compare which branch is strongest or is weaker. Going back here, you do it like this. Now I do have Bitcoin, but I want to compare it with Ether dollar. That will pop up in a line, and therefore I click on these bars, and then I go back to here and make this one also a line. And now you do have Bitcoin compared to Ether dollar. You can see it here in the top. Well, let me remove volume, by the way. And then you can see how they move compared to each other. If you want to get rid of that Ether, click here, and you have only back again the Bitcoin chart with compare. And you can add like 10, 20 different coins over here. Indicators. This is the these are all my favorites, but you can find them in Tradingview. I do have a bunch of invite only for testing, and let's say I want to look for an EMA triple EMA indicator. And when I click here on the star, then it will pop up in my favorites. But just let me use it over here. This is apparently the triple EMA. And you can use them here as a favorite. And here I can remove him. But look here, you can also adjust settings for every indicator. Do I have one where that is interesting to show you? Yeah, well, I'm using the multiple EMAs many times, like this. And I'm mostly interested in the 50 and the 100. So I remove 20 and the 200 and I make them yellow and white. And you can even here say on which time frames you want to see them. But you can see it 20, 50, 100, 200. And I disabled 20 and 200. And then you have here the 50 and the 100. Clicking here again to remove, and they are gone. What you could do also is make a bunch of indicators, and let's say I want to use volume, I want to use relative strength index, and the MACD. Yeah, it's a bit big, those panels. But you do not want to use them all the time. You can remove them by double click. Yeah, this one is staying because it's not in the panel. I need to change that, but it shouldn't be too difficult. But double click on the chart and your indicators are gone. Something else you could do is here, make this one a template. And I think it is over here. Yeah. Look, save indicator template. When I click here, these indicators will only be shown when I click here on one of my indicators. It's already in. I do have this one, RSI MACD. You see this one. And I do have a different one with the volume per exchange. So then you can see that the volume is in a panel and also removes when I double click. So templates, very handy when you are using several indicators and do not want to see them all at the same time. I do have another one, which you know from my charting in the group, which is the in silico. It's also in a template, but that is because it is, well, I made that template, but this is a paid version. This is not for everybody available, but I made this one. Well, this band, this hull sweep band, is actually not in that paid version. It's something you can find in Tradingview. And I added it to my to my crayons indicator, and then by clicking here on the templates, I can have it immediately without searching for all those different indicators, like here. Let me go back to the standard version. Double click. Let me remove volume. So that's indicators. Yeah, you can search a lot of different indicators, and what I said, put them in favorites, and then very easy clicking. If you click here, you are always immediately on favorites, and then you can find your favorite indicators. This is not important for us. Would be nice if we could just remove this, by the way. Financials, yeah, it's for stocks. Templates I already discussed. There are a couple of them are default in Tradingview. I never use them. I never looked at them even. But this one is something I could be. Yeah, well, not my favorites, but who knows? Maybe you find something which is making sense for you, and then you can use that. Now I want to get rid of it. Do I need? Yeah, I need to remove them all. Anything else to say here? Well, yeah, you can build on that and make more or less or change. If you have one template, you can change that into another and copy that and then adapt a little bit and make and save it as a new one. Yeah, all kinds of stuff you can do with this. Alerts. I must say I never use it like this, but you can create an alert on Bitcoin dollar here and put in a value. What I usually do is, let's say I want, I make here, or I think this is an important level. Oh, one other thing handy. If you want to draw a straight line, then click on Shift, and the line is immediately horizontal. But imagine I want to put an alert when we are breaking this top. I usually do it like this. I click on the line, and you can see it here with these dots. It is selected now. Right click, add alert on the trend line, and then I usually say once per bar I do get an alert, and then you will see, yeah, there it is. This is not important for me because I am on a premium plan. I don't understand why I do get that message. Maybe it's because I'm on a new layout. I don't know. So when the price moves up and breaks this line or touches the line, then I do get an alert. You could also say I want an alert on breaking, let's say 50,000 here. Right click, add alert. Then you can say here 50,000. Every time it breaks that level, I do get an alert. And now you see there is that alert. Let's remove it. I right click it. You can stop it, edit or remove. Edit, I say, okay, I was wrong. I want 52,000. And then you see it moves up to 52. Right click, remove, and it is gone. Same here, click on the line, remove, or I can edit the trend line alert and say I only want once a alert or once per bar, anything. But that is, yeah, pretty self-explaining here. But I want to delete the alert, so click on delete, yes, and you see it's gone. There is no clock anymore here, and I delete this line. You select the line, then you go to right click, remove, or selecting it and push, click on delete, type delete, touch delete button, maybe also with backspace. Replay function. Imagine I want to see, well, I do use it for backtesting, but now you can go back to a certain date and watch how the price action unfolded, and then you can see it like this. It's an interesting feature if you want to backtest and say I want to chart from here and then see what happens. I could say that, let's say this is a range, and yeah, well, this line pull on shift, and I would open a trade when it breaks here to the upside, and then you can watch here how that unfolds. And then yeah, over here, or when it, you see, then you would have opened the trade, and then you can check the result. Especially good, interesting when you are testing a new strategy, and you can go back in time and find places where you want to test your strategy. I usually then change my scale here on the right side, and say, for instance, I'm going to %, and then I don't know anymore the price levels, because I am in the Bitcoin chart, and when I want to backtest and go like this, and the numbers would be here, I like this, regular, and let's say this would be my chart, then I would already see 60,000, 62,000 was the top. There is coming a drop. So you are fooling yourself when backtesting, and I make it %, and I have no idea where in the in time I am, and I have no idea that this was the top, the temporary top over here. So that's important when using the replay function. Do and undo here if you have a couple of drawings or anything else like this, and you want to remove them, you can click here and they are gone, and you can bring them back. Here is your chart layouts. You can make new chart layouts. You can copy them, rename them, anything. Autosave, I always have it on, and then you can manage different chart layouts. Another one here, all kinds of layouts for your charts. I also showed you this one. I do have always one or two of these kinds open, and to keep an eye on the market, and having 8. It's this one, then you get 8 screens, little screens, and then I use this, for instance, on a different screen to keep an eye on the market, and then I have 8 different coins here, and I can see very quickly how the market is moving. But also handy if you want to compare, for instance, like here Bitcoin, and then you want to compare it with Ether. And clicking here with Litecoin. Then you can very quickly compare the movements in them. Back to one screen. That's most of what I wanted to show you here on the top. On the left side there are trading tools, and here again you can click a bunch of them and add them to your favorites. You don't see it here, but when I click here on this star, there's popping up a favorites toolbar, and I always have it on. Enabled, because look here, I do often use trend line, an arrow, or a horizontal ray. I enabled them as a favorite, and then you will find them back in your toolbar, and this one you can place anywhere you want. I usually have it here in the bottom. Important feature in your trend line is that you can adjust this one completely like you want. The color, I want them in white, I want them in a dotted line, or I want a different thickness that you can do here. I'm never using this, but there's lots of extra information you can find here, but that is, yeah, self-explanatory. You can even write some text to that. Test. Oh, there it is, very small. If you double click on such a line, then you can adjust the settings again. So I want a bigger, you see, and I want to change the color. Yeah, this is pretty standard stuff you can find yourself. This is more important. Which time frames do you want to see that line? Let me remove this one and I'll do some basic lines I do have. Oh, it's coming back in dotted because that was the last used version. I double click on the line and then I go to template. Let me make some more lines, or even a diagonal. Double click on this line and for instance you want to see this one only on a 1 hour chart, and you can disable all these time frames, and now you see it's already gone because I'm on the daily chart. But then you can say I want to see it only on the 1 hour and the 2 hour time frame. Now when I go to my 1 hour time frame, it should be coming back. Oh wait. Where was I? Ah, okay, it is I can find it here, this one. It was drawn on the 12th of July. So I have to go back here. Very far. Here are the lines, you see? Again, in I need regular. And there it is again. But you can also make templates. And you can say save this one, but I already made some templates here, 1 hour, 4 hour, 15-minute, daily, weekly. You can do that with any drawing you are making, any trend line or any other tool. I'll show you. I want this one in the hourly. This one is a 4 hour line. And this one is daily, and I can also make this one 15-minute. It's for me important because when I start charting, or let's say support and resistance, I start with daily or even weekly, and this is my daily line. Less important or less less important is my 4 hour line, which has different color and a different size. This one is thicker, and on the lower time frames I have the hourly. Now when I go back to my daily chart, you see I only have my daily line visible. Going to the 4 hour, there is also the blue line, and that goes on with the 1 hour and the 15 minutes. Templates. So let me double click again here. How do you make it? You first start with drawing a line, and let's say I want a very big line because it's my weekly level. And on any chart, I want to see it from weekly down to daily, 4 hour chart, 1 hour chart. I want to see them, that line everywhere. Style, I want that chart that line in yeah, well, let's keep it in green, and I want a thick line like that line, and that's fine. Visibility, I already clicked here weeks, days, and then I go to save as, and I say weekly. So this one is now saved here. And now imagine this daily line, I want this one also to change to my weekly line. I click here, template, and you can already see it immediately enabled the weekly time frame. And now I do have the same line over here. What is more important here? Well, horizontal lines, horizontal rays, that all speaks for itself. Parallel channel, you can draw a parallel channel. Well, I'll give you an example here. It would be something like this, or like this. But also this, you can change here a lot. You can change here the time frames you want to see it. You can make a template for that. You want different colors. The background, you want it. You can see, when I change this bar, then you can see it in the screen. So crossline, regression flat, yeah, there's so much, but this is all pretty standard, and I think it's more important that you know where to find it and how to use it instead of me explaining every tool. Again, fib retracement, trend-based fib extension, I do have them as a favorite, and they are in my toolbar. But this one is quite interesting. Let me first go to a black screen. These are the values which are normally used in the fib retracement tool, but default in Tradingview you have a bunch of colors, and I only want yellow, and then these backgrounds not filled. And here you can select which levels you want to show. And over here you can click on use one color, and that color will be used for the levels. Yes, same goes for the trend-based fib extension tool. I only want to use the 1.27, 1.618, but you can use a lot more of them and enable them here. You see those levels popping up on the left. Again, you can use that on different time frames. You can make templates of it, blah de blah de blah. It's all more or less the same. Again, here a lot of other tools. Click them as a favorite, and they pop up in your toolbar. I often use the brush and the rectangle. You know my green or red boxes. That's why they are here, marked as a favorite and in my toolbars. Text, yeah, same. Here, all I do use a lot the Elliott impulse wave and the correction wave, and that's why they are here. Long position, short position, and yeah, a bunch of other tools you can use. Which one is funny? Because you will see them used a lot in Tradingview or on Twitter, is the bars pattern. If you click this one, you can, if you see a certain fractal, like this one, then you can say, well, it looks very similar to here, so I expect this to move. That's how people get to that, a copy of that pattern. all kinds of symbols, not really important for me. You can measure line values, but you can also do that here with date range and price range. I often use price range because then you can measure the change in price. Zoom in. So if you are, this is just a button which you can use very quickly for zooming in, up like that. Here on the bottom is also an interesting button. If you want to go back to your default settings, which I showed you in the beginning, 10%, 15%, 10%, and you have been working a lot in your chart, and then you want to go back to the original settings. Click here, and you are back in your original settings. Lock your the old drawing tools. I have no idea what to do with it. If you have a bunch of drawing tools already in your chart, you can hide them all, or hide the indicators, blah blah blah, or remove them all over here. And that is more or less what I wanted to show you, and I think I could go on for hours and explain every tool, but that was not the purpose of this training video. I hope this helps you to find out or make your work on Tradingview a lot easier. Just now I'm thinking, did I forget something? No, not really, but yeah. Well, if you right click anywhere on the chart, there is always popping up a menu where you can change stuff or change your drawings. I think that's more or less what I wanted to show you guys. If you have any questions, come in Slack and post them in our training channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.